Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Anastasia podcast. This week's podcast is going to be short. I have a lot going on, and I had a day. I will talk about it in a future podcast yesterday. So I actually couldn't even do my regular Monday routine of podcast edit release. So it's Tuesday, the 20th today, and we are capitalizing on nap time. But I just want to fill you guys in a little bit on how my January is going. So regarding goals, you make plans and then God laughs. And life is about trusting and adapting and just taking it little by little. We are still not sleeping through the night. My little brother joined the Marines and went away to his first school. He's in officer training school right now. Laundry has been pretty good. Cutting sugar has been pretty good. Fitness has still been pretty good, like the hiking. This has been a big lesson. Like the past few weeks have been a big lesson for me on the slowing down, trusting the process, and small progress is still progress. For me, that means I really had to like curb my expectations. And I think we do this all the time. I think I'm in a better place right now, not being on social media. So I'm not just constantly being flooded and inundated with more, like reach higher, higher, higher. I'm kind of like, I'm coming back to myself and letting myself do life at my own pace. So let's get into it. I also wanted to share, I started watching Love is Blind. Well, first of all, I showed Noli Clueless. It started playing on YouTube, like the whole movie. It was so random. After I think we were watching like the Letter Factory. We were doing letters. It's like the leapfrog thing. Parents who know. Um, and then I turned on Love is Blind one day last week in the background, and I was like, okay, first of all, I can't believe I used to watch this show at length because all I was doing was trying to fast forward to see who ends up together. And I just have a little bit of things to say about that. So, anyways, let's dive in. All right. So since my brother left for the Marines, okay, that first week, it's like no contact. So I wrote a letter. I had Matt write a letter because I wanted to, like, right when we get his address, we can stick something in the mail just so he gets something. And they do have this other thing that they offer. It's called Sandbox. And it's kind of like through the government military where you can write a letter virtually. Then it goes to this other, I don't know, business headquarters, whatever, they print your letter and they deliver it next day. So I sent one letter through Sandbox. You have to like buy the letters though. So I only bought a 2-letter package. And then today I ran to the post office at the beginning of Noli's naps because I had to buy stamps. And I only have really, really thick printer paper. So my envelope was like this fat because I had to like three-fold like 5 pieces of paper because in even writing him letters, this is like so fun. I'm attaching different pictures through the week and then writing a little blurb. So I got to attach like the first time we made Magnolia pigtails. I got to attach like her and the dog, her at Costco, like just little life updates. And I think it's going to mean a lot more too, especially when like I think they don't have their phones for their whole first month. So it's really like isolation and it's a lot of time in your brain. And I think especially when you don't have any kind of distraction, it, like, brings you back to the basics and the simplicity and just, like, connecting with family, and I know it's gonna be great, so I'm really excited for him. He's gonna get my first letter through Sandbox today because I was able to send him one on Friday. They, like, sent a text Friday at 5, and we were all at Home Depot, so I'm, like, in Home Depot writing a letter, and I was like, "I will send your mail out first thing tomorrow morning in the post." Okay, I had no stamps, didn't know the post office is only open for 3 hours on Saturday, and then Sunday they're closed, Monday was MLK Day, and here we are Tuesday, so is what it is. Um, so that's, like, the update in, I guess, like, my family with Magnolia. So I was just saying to Matt today, I feel like life with her gets to this point where like the insanity cannot continue. And we just reach this point where she's so tired, we're so tired that we all just end up having an entire night of sleep. So we all slept through the night last night. Matt and I were watching an interview. We turned it off at 10:59. I was probably out cold by 11 o'clock and I woke up on my own at 6:45 and I love waking up early. I love waking up to the sun, we just had a dumping of snow in Rhode Island. So it is that kind of snow where, like, last night when we were driving, I literally said to Matt, I'm like, "Do you think there's this kind of snow in heaven? Like, do you think in heaven you can, like, transport yourself to this type of snow where it's like every branch is coated in white snow and it's hanging and it's so powdery." We also had wet snow, so everything is hanging heavy and it's drooping and it's just so pure white and beautiful, and I've always loved the snow. I always can't believe that some people hate snow. Like, I cannot believe it. But then I was telling Matt too, like in heaven, then you can like transport. So like a tropical paradise or whatever. I was like, or do you think like heaven is so much more beyond anything we could understand that like this on earth is like nothing in comparison to there? And like, yes, but then also I would feel like God would give us little hints of eternal beauty, I guess, on earth and like majestic moments like that. So we'll see. But I woke up early. I got to do my favorite thing ever, get ready before the baby woke up. And then that was great because Magnolia's gone down to 1 nap a day. So I'm finding if we go on a family hike towards the beginning of that window, she fell asleep on a hike twice. And like she hasn't fallen asleep in the backpack while hiking in like 6 months. So I know it's just really hard for her body to just keep pushing those few extra hours to like make it to her nap window. But I will say life with Magnolia with 1 nap a day is like this is the reward. Still not sleeping through the night, but this is the reward after a year. The not sleeping through the night, I think it's the molars. I'm kind of okay with it, the groove that we're in. She was waking up 1 to 2 times a night for like, it was like 8 days in a row. But we kind of like it's a very simple routine. I go in there, she's already standing waiting for me. She hugs me, we snuggle, we change a diaper, we do a bottle, and then she goes right back in her crib. She plays with her stuffed animals, and then she falls asleep. She has one last tooth, this bottom one, coming through her molar, so I just think she's doing her best. But 2 nights ago, when it was snowing, we ended up losing power at 11:30, and all the power tripped before it went out, and we have, like, certain lights in our house we just always keep on, but then we turn it off with the remote, so any light fixture that has a fan. And sometimes I'll go in Magnolia's room in the middle of the night and it's, like, really hot in there, so I'll turn on the fan to just get the air going. So all the lights turned on in her room, it woke her up, and then our house goes, like, obsidian dark. It was so dark, like, I don't like this kinda stuff. I'm a chicken, Matt was at work, he got held at work, and I was, like, scared. I go in her room to go put a sound machine, like a portable sound machine on there, 'cause she always sleeps with the sound machine. She was already awake. Okay, so I had put her to bed that night at like 10, I think, so she slept 10 to 11:30, and then she was up until 4 AM. And as a family, Sunday night into Monday, we only got 3 hours of sleep, 3 to 3.5 hours of sleep, like that was something else. That was literally something else, but that's what I mean of it gets to this point where no one just can't not sleep anymore and everybody's bodies surrender. I will say, like, we had to pull Magnolia into our room because we didn't have any heat in the house, so I didn't want her she moves around too much in her sleep, so she wouldn't have made it without, like, a blanket. I mean, she would have made it, but I didn't wanna put myself in that type of restless sleep. I at one point she was crying for so long, I dragged her crib into our room, I broke her crib, I broke the arc of her crib. This crib is like $2,000. I was so freaking pissed, dude. I was so pissed. The crying, like, when she was crying, it was just in a crying spell because she couldn't get comfortable. She hugged us, she kissed us for hours, hours playing with her stuffed animals, leaning into us, smiling, laughing, kissing us. I'm like, "Dude, go to sleep." There were some points where, like, it's literally, I don't know, like, it's 1:30, 2:30, and I'll literally be like, "Magnolia, lay down." And I'm, like, a little stern, and she's like, and she, like, lays down. And I'm like, "Good girl for listening, but, like, close your eyes." So anyways, we're past it. It is what it is. Like, this is parenthood. And, like, thankfully, that's just, like, not the story anymore. And it's so funny because I was, like, talking to Matt. He was gonna go get the generator, but it said that power was gonna come back on at 2:30. So it's like, why are we gonna go do the generator for, like, only an hour at that point? Because we went to bed at 1:30. I will say I think it's a little bit my fault because that night, her and I had a dance party. She has these, like, disco, like, light things. and her and I were having a dance party to the Justin Timberlake song, Can't Stop the Feeling. And then when daddy came home at like 12:30, we had to show daddy our dance moves. And she's so cute. Like if you dance, she comes up to you and she wants you to pick her up because she wants to be in the good time. So like teaching her how to clap and like move her body, like it's so freaking cute. So this is what happens, right? You only remember the good times, but then when you're in the thick of like literally not sleeping for the entire night, you're like, I'm never having another kid. It's crazy. Okay, circling back to adjusting my expectations, I really gave myself permission over this past week to be like, you know what? Sometimes the only thing that's going to get done during the day is to like take care of the baby, get her ready, and get out for a hike with her and the dog. And that is enough. As long as I can do a little bit here, a little bit there in the house, like I'm in a different place right now than when we were in the newborn trenches. But I will say, like, this makes me understand nesting a lot more because when you come home with that baby, like, you're not going to get a chance to do anything. So you just want to like tidy up, organize, like micromanage, kind of reset your house to a really good baseline because it's gonna stay like that for months. And my new normal with Magnolia now is I can have her in the kitchen with me while I'm like unloading the dishwasher, reloading the dishwasher. I can put her in her little thing next to the island and give her a few things to count or give her a few things to like work on whatever. Open a cabinet, let her like get in there, look at pots and pans, lids, and then get something done. The laundry's been good, decently good, like staying on top of that. I really have been like I will tell myself, "Okay, I can do a load of laundry in under 10 minutes," like, putting it away, but then my favorite thing now is, like, "But if Matt helps me, we can do it in under 5 minutes," and the other day, like, Matt was already in bed and he was exhausted, and I just dump a whole hamper of clean clothes on her bed, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Just gonna put this away, it's gonna take 10 minutes," and he's like, "Why are you doing this right now?" I was like, "'Cause it's literally gonna take 10 minutes." And then he's just, like, giving me a look, and I'm like, "But if you helped, it would only take 5." And then literally he's like, "I can't stand you." He gets out of bed, we start folding laundry, we folded it in 4 minutes. And I'm like, "Okay." And now in 4 minutes, both of us get to go to bed instead of one person doing laundry for 10 minutes. And you know what? That's life. That's how like, fine, don't stand me, but, like, look at us, we're caught up on laundry, and then I can go throw in another load, it washes and dries, like, these little things, I don't know why it's taken me till I'm 34 years old to figure out proper pathways for them, but, like, little by little, I'm figuring it out. I'm also trying to trick my mind and be like, "No, I like doing laundry. I can listen to a podcast. I can listen to a book, whatever." Whereas before, like, sometimes I don't know if this happens with other ADHD people, like, I have to actively remind myself to turn on an audiobook, turn on a podcast, and then I don't really mind the chore that I'm doing, but sometimes I forget to do it, and that chore is so much worse because 'cause you're doing it in silence with the thoughts in your head, and you're like, "This is the worst." Okay, we did something really fun this week. So before my brother left for the Marines, anytime I would go to Costco, he would come with me. And it was great because I had like another set of hands with Magnolia of help. And then he would do like his Costco haul, I would do my Costco haul. And I really grew to like love that time because we had basically had almost an hour in the car to talk there and back. It's like Costco is 45 minutes from my house. And it's just like life is so busy and we got to carve out time and spend time with each other. And then I just love that, like, Noli loved hanging out with her uncle. But now that Jacob's in training, Matt's parents wanted to come to Costco. So we do, like, a whole family, um, like, extravaganza where they take Noli's car seat, they put it in the middle of the back row. Me and Matt's mom sat in the back. Matt and his dad are up front. You know, it's like a whole process to get to Costco. The day we go to Costco, Magnolia got pigtails for the first time, but also Magnolia fell asleep on our hike that day for 30 minutes and then didn't nap all day. All day. This baby is too small to not nap all day. It was like, bless Matt's mom, she literally sang to Magnolia, like, the entire car ride there, and I was like, "I can't even sing anymore because I just sang to her for, like, 3 hours at home trying to get this girl to take a nap, and she just literally fought it from, like, 1 until, like, 4:30, and I was like and that was a day too where, like, because of waking up with her at night, I had not been that tired. You know, the, like, nap when the baby's napping? What happens if your baby doesn't nap? I had not been that tired since literally the newborn trenches, and I was like, "I'm not gonna make it." And you know what? Somehow you do. But it was Magnolia's first time walking around at the store. So normally, she either sits in the carriage or I usually end up putting her like in the big part of the carriage and she's playing with whatever's in there. Or my brother Jacob always is with her and then taking her around the store, letting her jump on the mattress, letting her play with toys, whatever. She literally, her first time walked around the store, which was so crazy as like a mom to see like your little person, the little baby that you made is just walking around like their own little person and she's holding Matt's mom's hands. And the first thing she did when her feet touched the ground, she picked up her shirt and she showed her belly button to everyone. And then it was so funny because everybody walking by is like looking and she's so proud of herself, like so proud of herself because she knows what her belly button is now. And she thought everyone needs to see. And everybody's like smiling and laughing. And I was like, this is so sweet to see her bringing other people joy. And she's loving life. And like, it was just so, so special. So, I'm really grateful for that, and, it was, like, awesome getting to take pictures of Magnolia in Costco and then getting to share those with Jacob, so it's kinda like, it lives on. And for a product highlight that we found at Costco, there are these seltzer waters that have 30 grams of protein. I think they're, like, blue raz lemonade flavored. My little brother has actually bought them before, but a case is, like, $30, and it's, like, a little crazy. They were on sale, so we bought them, and Matt loves them. Of course, Matt's parents love them. I would say that's the product highlight, but I will say, like, remember those ice drinks? It's like literally seltzer water, but flavored with sucralose. I feel like that's essentially that with protein, like there's so many protein drinks right now at Target that are all clear based, water based. Yes, it's like a milk derivative. It's whey protein. But anyways, I think the advertising of it is cool, but I really think, like, you could definitely make cleaner versions of it at home with, like, a clear, unflavored protein, and you can mix it into, like, a plain seltzer or whatever, but I will say, like, Matt really enjoyed it. Sucralose is aspartame, and aspartame is 200 times sweeter than sugar, so it's just, like, unbelievable to my taste buds how sweet that stuff is. I'm like, "This is insanity," but it is really good. So, I think it's called, like, Gourmet something. It's not Gourmet Chef, but it's, like, fun. It's, like, slim, tall cans, and it's cool, and you know what? It's great. Like, Matt loves variety. I will say I didn't grow up in a juice house or, like, a drink house. Like, we had water all the time. My husband grew up in a juice, soda, a drink house. Matt really enjoys variety. I could drink water every day of my life and be fine. Matt is like opposite. If we don't have drinks in the house, I'll go to the gas station and buy them. That makes me crazy because I'm like, I just feel like it's like such a waste because that's how I was raised too. So it's like, okay, that's why I buy cases of everything because that's already a lot better. We have a whole drink fridge. It's literally designated essentially for Matt. But if you ever wanna try them out, it's like Blue Raz Lemonade, and it's at Costco. You can also buy it on Amazon, but it's like 4 times expensive. Okay, last 2 things. So, 1, Love is Blind. I just feel like that experiment is so unnatural, and I used to love the show, but I think as it's gone by, I'm actually interested to listen to there was one season where there's, like, Natalie and Deepti, and they have a podcast called Out of the Pods, and anytime there's a new season, they do a really good job of, like, giving their opinion and their perspective on things, but then they also know it from a real life perspective. They know what production is like, they know what all the behind the scenes are like, and that's always really interesting because it makes you think about things different. I'd be curious to see what their perspective on this is because this was season 9 that came out, and I think, like, they filmed more than 12 seasons, and one of the people from this season said something online like, "I filmed this over 2 years ago, like, I would like to leave it in the past," and it just aired, right? So, I don't know. I think Love is Not Blind. I think when people are forced to stay in that bubble that they kind of pigeonhole them all into of like this illusionary of like you have no contact with your friends, family. It's like when one of your senses are gone, all your other senses are over heightened. And I think they're in this state of over heightened senses and they feel these really big, real feelings. But then as they come out of the pods and then they're like assimilating back into their real lives, like they don't end up getting married. I think this season, not a single person got married, and I literally think there's less out of 10 seasons, 9 seasons, whatever, I don't even think there's 5 married couples left. There might be only 2. I feel like there's a lot of divorces, to be honest, and that's just hard, because I don't think any of the people really look back who, like, got married and were married for a few years. I don't think they necessarily regret it because you take life with like in step and you take the lessons that you learned from it and it makes you who you're supposed to be and you grow and learn and etc. But it's kind of just getting really hard to watch because I feel like it's a little bit like really manipulative. So one of my favorite characters though was that guy Patrick Suzuki. He kind of reminds me of my cousin Olga's husband, just like a good guy. And like I always look like a good guy who's misunderstood because there's so many girls that are misunderstood too. But in this season, the girl he actually ended up with was like some crazy chick that after meeting him, he was Asian. She was like, "This isn't gonna work." Like, it makes me sound terrible, but it's not gonna work. And he deserves to be with someone who's actually gonna be attracted to him. But then, like, while she's breaking up with him, she's like kissing him, straddling him. Like, I'm like, okay, if you have ever seen someone that's like, wow, you have had some serious trauma and your body physically does not know how to like I don't wanna say be normal, but, like, act normal through any type of thing that's not a perfectly smooth situation, like, that was brutal to watch. Never mind being that person. Ugh, but I felt really bad for Patrick, but at the same time, if you've ever seen a human dodge a bullet, I think I think life has a way of working things out. So, I don't know if anybody else watches Love Is Blind. I don't know if anybody else is finding that it's, like, really hard to watch Love Is Blind. I really enjoyed Members Only Palm Beach way more, and I'm really looking forward to next year, or this year, I guess, because it's 2026, Real Housewives of Rhode Island, and then I just keep waiting for Your Friends and Neighbor with that guy from Mad Men for season 2, like, that show was so good. And then, like, I don't know, I finished watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians a few weeks ago, that new season on Hulu. I also enjoyed it, like, I don't know. I was, like, never diehard Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but this is my season of life where sometimes I just have the TV on in the background, and it is what it is, and it's not gonna be like this forever, and hopefully me watching shows like this does not turn into an addiction, and I don't spend my free time doing it. But you know what? I actually watch TV so infrequently, even though it doesn't sound like it. You know, there's just so many hours in a day. Not scrolling on social media still has been so great. And then this is what I want to say. Like, this was the second thing of when I was like, I have two last things to say. I basically realized this past week of like not being on social media and being very aware of your time and free pockets of time, etc., where you can invest that time. I like clean the house, did laundry, did 2 loads of laundry, took out the trash, brought the trash bins up to the road because the following day was trash day, cleaned snow off my car, played with the dog, like, loaded, unloaded the dishwasher, and Magnolia doing 1 nap a day now it's longer, I still knew I had a good amount of time, and I was like, "Alright, I really wanna, like, craft." Like, I've been wanting to craft because I finished my 2026, vision board the other day, I got Mod Podge, I finished gluing all my stuff on, and it was so therapeutic just sitting and working on something that I was actually avoiding doing for a few weeks because, like, collages are such a abstract style of artwork, and I'm more like I like rules, I like order, I like balance, I like symmetry, so once I got going, it, like, came together really beautifully, and it was so fun, and it was actually the catalyst for me of, like, I want to do more crafts, like, I've always had that artistic side, I just wanna keep developing it. So I sat down the other day to do diamond art because me and my friend Jen, when we were both pregnant, wanted to do diamond art, and then we had our babies, and, you know, you never have time to do stuff like diamond art. But it was, like, that nap window where I knew I had a little bit of more time, and I opened everything, and I looked at it, and I was like, "You know what? I know, like, this is gonna put me in such a zen place. This is an activity that I wanna do after I already put her down. I still have, like, my gears going a little bit, so I ended up working on, like, creating some templates for I have this A5 notebook. I'll actually show it. I bought this A5 notebook, and it's like I like the size of it instead of it being a huge 9 by 12. No, that's a baking sheet. What is it? 8.5 by 11. And I have this well, like, separated out into sections, and I have, like, a podcasting thing, acoustic cabin thing, I have a section for recipes. I really wanted to buy a new planner this year because I think, like, at the beginning of every year, you just want a new planner, and it's gonna help you organize, and then you can see everything, and I was like, "You know what? I don't want another thing just to carry it around, especially when I can customize my own." Like, I made templates for all different things in that notebook. So I was like, "I'm gonna make my own planner." And then I don't have to carry around 2 A5 size notebooks. And Anyways, I, like, got to creating, like I did a whole, year's calendar on one page, and then I was, like, doing January because I know how I like my month to look, and then I like planners where it's, like, a week at a glance, and you have, like, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't like the calendars where you have timestamps for, like, every 15-minute increments. There's all different super helpful kinds of planners out there, and I think it's great because all of our brains work differently, but knowing how my brain works and, like, knowing what my how my eyes like to look at things and how it helps me remember things and forecast my weeks, I'm like, "No, I'm gonna make it, and then I'm gonna print it," because we bought a special printer so I could kind of utilize printing in color more and whatever. Anyways, I spent, like, a good hour making a few templated sheets for my planner, and I had so much fun, and it was, like, creative in itself, and I was like, I am so grateful I'm not on social media. I don't enjoy watching TV in my free time. That's like another thing I wanna say. I don't like watching TV when I have free time because my free time is so limited, but, like, eliminating scrolling from anything that I could possibly be doing, it's truly giving me so much more time to just have so much better use of my time. I'm staying on top of home chores. There's so much more stuff I wanna do, like, annually, I really kind of like to fine tooth comb through my home and just donate things that don't need to be here, go through clothing, go through closets, go through linen closets, pantries, cabinets, etcetera, and I'm like, yeah, I literally love not having social media. I also was telling Matt earlier this week, I know it's, like, still too soon to say because it's only January, but I think my vision for social media is gonna be my way of relating to people and communicating to people is gonna be through my podcast, and I wanna, like, almost disappear from social media, and the people who, like, find community with me on YouTube, like, this is gonna be our hub because it's just easier for my brain, and I'm really grateful for it. So, anyways, it's like all those little posts, they all add up whenever I would share stories and do photo dumps or whatever, and it was just like 15 minutes turns into half an hour, turns into hours throughout the week, and then you're so overwhelmed and you feel like you never have time to catch up on life stuff, and I am just still loving this. Like, I feel like this is a time hack. So anyways, that's all I have to say for this week. I hope everybody had a great snowy day. I'll try to edit this and get it out maybe even by tonight. We'll see how it goes. And I'll catch you guys all next week. Bye.